Anna before.
Yay, Sophia got in.
I'm sorry, Anna. But we don't have a lot of time, right? I think people have to go. I also have a meeting. So let me just, I want to hear from everybody, but let me just explain.
Yes.
Go. Great.
And also we have Clarice that I don't know. I would like to hear about her.
Hi, Clarice. Where are you?
Okay, just to don't take much time. I don't work professionally with art. I've danced a lot last year with an experiment group here of the city. But I intend to work with cultural production. I've done some musical events last year, and so now I'm like, okay, what can I do online? I think things like that, these moments to get together and talk with people from the arts is a great alternative of things to do in this moment. And I've seen some auditions online in Instagram. I can send later to you, to the Duna project, the link of one of the audition that I found very interesting, and maybe it's a way of like making money in this time.
Thank you. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Hi Bernice, I haven't seen you since the very first meeting, but lovely that you joined us. Hi Sophia and Jordana. So I don't know about you guys, but I have found this quarantine, I don't know about you guys, but I found this quarantine very difficult. Maybe you're enjoying it. No. But one thing that sort of happened for me also is that I've had a very kind of, it's a period of reflection. And I was just listening to what Clarice was saying, and I think for the last few years, I'm getting, older. And I've been sort of making art my whole life, really, like since I was a child. I think I mentioned on the first call that, I grew up with my parents who were artists, and then I just kind of continued. One thing is I feel like even though I have people who are interested in what I do, and even though I have an audience if I perform publicly, and even though I have an audience online if I publish writing, I've not had institutional support or recognition for my work. And I've been thinking a lot about that in terms of like, what does this mean? It's been a sort of a hard thing to reach the level of being able to say I am an artist because of that, and not having gone to art school, actually growing up with artists who had no institutional support and who had not gone to art school either. And like Clarice, my parents' attitude was always, we do work, we work for money and then we make the art. And so there was not such an attempt in their practice to sell, what they were making, so much as be able to raise the money to continue to make it. And the other thing that sort of happened to me during this period is just like thinking about, I think it's natural that you start to think about utility of what you do, and is the fact that, like Clarice, I have been performing with an experimental dance group for the last 2 years, like with very little institutional support, and we love it. And so I start to think about the utility for me often is that connection across communities, connection with other people, with other artists, to communicate with each other, to mutually support each other. And it's very profound for mental health. But at the same time, I'm always dealing with this issue of like, I am a writer who publishes a lot of poetry and sort of experimental prose texts in very unknown, unrecognized places, except for I mean, I've had like some bigger successes, but you know, then you always get that bigger success and then that is it, and then you're like, I need something else, I need more money, or I need, you know, whatever it is. And then, you know, obviously experimental performance is not the biggest money earner either. You know, and then I also really enjoy teaching. I've taught quite a few workshops. I really enjoy teaching workshops. I really enjoy teaching creative English. So I've been an English teacher for a long time. I really enjoy teaching the language English through literature, drama, talking about art and film. And I also teach poetry and literature, like creative writing workshops. And one of the workshops that I've developed is writing with the body. So it's a combination of writing and movement. And these are some ways that, you know, I can ask for a little bit of money for the work that I do. Anyway, that's a little bit about me and my experience of trying to survive. I grew up very poor. You know, I had no support, like from, you know, institutions and things like that. So making art is something I've done, you know, on the side, like in my, I don't like to say on the side because it's something that I want to always do. So it's not like a side project, but it's something that I've had to find time to do because I've been working for money. And then also thinking about in this, you know, global pandemic, one of the things that I've really needed is to connect with other people, with other artists. And so that's why I thought, you know, it would be really interesting to talk to you guys, other women artists, and discuss some of these ideas that I've been thinking about in this period of time. So I had a few questions, and I think I'll just open the floor up to people can freely comment with their thoughts and ideas. So some of the things that I'm thinking about are like, what do you need to make your art? Like, what do you actually need? I don't just mean canvas and paint. I don't just mean a computer. I mean, like, what else do you need? Space, time, support, recognition, money, what do you call them? Not co-workers. I'm thinking in Spanish, compañeros. What is that in English? Partners in your, thank you for translating Spanish into English for me there, Bruna. And yeah, and you know, like, I think one of the things that for me, I was thinking about what do I need, and it was like, I actually really connect with an audience. That's something that when I make performance work, I really enjoy having an audience there to connect with. And so that's something that's been very hard during this quarantine, because obviously, you know, even if I'm doing a performance on Zoom, I don't have the audience there. Now, I had initially proposed to Bruna and Natasha that I would be doing a performance on Zoom. However, around that time, I felt that there was so much going on in the world, both with the pandemic and with, you know, political causes like Black Lives Matter. And I felt very profoundly inside that it was not a moment for me to make my personal performance work in the middle of all this very important and valuable discussion. So I suppose another thing that I've been thinking about is like, where is my place? What, you know, like, what is my space to make this work? And when is it appropriate for me to actually take a step backwards and allow Black or Indigenous, Black and or Indigenous women to have that, you know, that space in the art world. Okay, so those are all things that I'm thinking about. So what do you need to make your art? One of the things that I was thinking is like compañeros, the partners. and also the audience. So those are two things that have been very, very hard during the pandemic for me. What are some of the barriers and restrictions that you face? For example, for me, it's that, you know, I have almost a resistance to getting institutional support, since my parents were always like, not even worth trying, we're just gonna make our own thing. Oh, poor old Natasha's over there. I'm talking so much and she's over there like translating into, gosh, okay, I'm nearly done. I only have 2 more. I wanted to know what you guys think of the role of the institution in the art world. For me, the institution, you know, necessarily connotates power and power relations, and it's very strongly related to class and race. So I feel like the institution is something that's quite inaccessible to, well, so many people who want to make art, you know. And then the other question, my last question, which we can talk about at the end of the call, obviously, but what I really wanted to discuss is what kinds of solutions have you guys been thinking of? Are there any ways that we can pool our collective resources to try and find ways to make work? As I told Bruna and Natasha, I live in Mexico City. I'm very interested in creating some kind of artistic community here in the future when international travel is a possibility again. And yeah, and ways to stay connected with you guys and other artistic communities, and find ways to support each other so that we don't feel like we have to rely on a, you know, racist, wealthy, you know, ivory tower kind of institution in order to make work that we want to make. So yeah, I open up the floor to any thoughts that you guys might have.
Eu queria perguntar se a tradução está servindo para vocês. Vocês ajudam ou vocês conseguem entender? Meninas que não entendem inglês.
Eu acho que se em alguns momentos tu traduzisse assim, o teu falando, o teu entendimento, assim, seria mais... Seria mais, assim, eu pegaria, acho que mais a ideia, sabe? Eu tô entendendo algumas coisas que ela tá falando, mas uma coisinha ou outra eu tô perdendo, assim, na tradução.
Tá, falando, né? Você prefere que ela fale e a gente fale?
Se for possível, assim, só sintetizar a ideia verbalmente, eu acho que poderia tentar, para ver se fica um pouco mais...
Fica meio louca ali no chat, né? Tá, então, agora, não sei se vocês pegaram, ela passou pra gente uma pergunta, basicamente seria, resumindo, como a gente pode encontrar as nossas próprias maneiras de apoio, construir nossas próprias comunidades como pessoas criativas, sem necessariamente depender da legitimação de uma instituição, ou sem necessariamente ter que estar tentando entrar numa instituição, né, uma vez que as instituições com frequência são reprodutoras de discursos hegemônicos e expressam muitas relações de poder, né? Basicamente, essa é, assim, buscar alternativas, formas alternativas de apoio mútuo, basicamente.
E ela também propôs umas perguntas para que todo mundo respondesse. A partir daí acontece. E a primeira pergunta foi do que vocês precisam para fazer arte. Além de quadros e pincéis, mas se precisa de apoio, de parceiros, enfim. Okay, we were translating the idea for the girls.
Thank you.
Bernice was talking while your internet failed. Bernice, I asked her about how it's going for her, and she started talking, but I don't think you listened.
Wait, who was that?
Bernice.
Bernice, the Smiles.
Yeah. So I have a arts education or design training. So you know, my introduction to the art world and gallery shows was almost like very dated now. It was 2010 to 2013. was when I had my first gallery show. And from that time until now, I've just been a working designer, and I've kind of been detached from my art practice until the quarantine. So I wish there was a simple answer to, you know, how to get the institutional recognition. But I think it's an interesting time right now, seeming that I found you guys just on Instagram. It's, you know, you see galleries who are more and more open to showcasing artists from all over the world and not restricted by the geolocation. I think it's something that we can leverage, not having the institutional support. Yeah, I love how connected we are through the internet. I think it's beautiful, but I think it's also more and more competitive in that it just opens up to the whole world. Yeah, I too find the struggle of remaining cash flow, I guess, to support the practice. I'm curious to hear, you know, how everybody else finds like promoting themselves during this time, or you know, if you have even tried looking for like other art online residency programs that support artists. Yeah.
Okay, can I take it, or I waiting the translation?
Pode ir, fica à vontade.
The first question, what I need to create my art. First, I need to explain 2 points. One, I'm born poor. Eu nasci pobre, né? Vim de uma família pobre, come to a poor family. So, art is never was something was thinking to my future, because don't has money here in Brazil. So when I option for this, and I inside the university, and I perceive all this you say about the classes and races, was very tough to me, and I took off my graduation. I don't finish my graduation because I start to work out the university more and learn more than inside, because it's so segregation inside, then the knowledge don't come to me, you know. I have to fight to take attention to a teacher or some department. So I have to grow up with this. I have to live like art with this. To me, the only thing more important, I need to take a control about my time in my day. I have to be much more disciplined to take 1 hour to my children, 1 hour to my house, 1 hour to my, and the hour I have to my work art. It's very difficult because sometimes it comes to inspiration, like 2 o'clock, de madrugada vem a inspiração, como é que eu faço? Because the other day I have to take my children to the school at 7 in the morning, so I don't have this freedom to create. I have to canalize my inspiration in the moment I can to make my work. It's very hard. It's very oppression, but it's a kind of knowledge, you know, é tipo de conhecimento, porque depois que você tem isso na mão, você consegue, em qualquer lugar, fazer acontecer sua arte, sabe? Mas é muito difícil, é um processo, às vezes eu também não consigo. I will try translation. It's very hard, it's a process, you have so much to learn with this, but now I have married again, so I have a kind of lifestyle a little better than before. And I have to learn now to have this a little freedom to create, you know. And it's very hard too, because sometimes I just want to create only comes the inspiration. But I can't wait on this moment, you know. I have to think about before. I have to plan, and but well, this is one thing you give me some security to create. Have a control about my time in the day. Ter controle dos horários do dia é uma coisa que facilita criar minha arte. Porque eu não tenho como esperar a hora da inspiração. Eu tenho que planejar tudo antes para poder, enfim, fazer a coisa ficar viável para ser vendida ou não. I have two kind of work. One is the product, it's something I can sell. And the other thing is my work like actress. And this is not a product, it's a kind of service. And it's very cruel to look at the art like this, but in this moment, you have to do this. Take your emotion side and put some place. It's not personal. It's just another way to make the things work. You know. So service, like dance, like actress, like all the language who don't has a product. It's very difficult to sell this moment. I was working with children. I was telling story, contadora de história. Eu trabalhava com isso.
Storyteller.
Yeah, storytelling. Thank you, Brunton. So I know that the next 3 years, I can't come back to work with this, only virtual. Because I can't take touch the children. I can't inside the school. I can't go to inside his house. So how I make this? This is a kind of, this moment, I kind of think about this. And one thing I have to tell you, it's about how it's difficult to adaptation, work with a public and a work to inside the town, inside the computer or a cell phone. It's very difficult, but eu consegui fazer isso com o projeto do Duna. The project Duna made me to do this because the video I put there is not a video. It was a scene, and I performed this scene on the street and the other place. And there is a lot of music inside, so I have to cut some part. I have to adapt the text, and I have to create an imagine. Can I work with this on video? And I really like the result. And surprising me because the people who helped me to education was not living here, living the other state, very far away, and we make this happen. So open to the other's perspective. I know we like artists, we like the touch public, the contact with the public. It's something like air, but there is other. There is not the time to ficar teimando nisso. It's not the time for this. You have to think the other perspective, because when you put some video on the internet, did you think that is forever? Like, it's forever. All world can see, all contact, all the public you can make, you know what I mean? So you have to look at this other perspective. And the way, the moment you put yourself to make this kind of job, think about this. Think, oh my God, it's all the world. So let's do this and jump. You know? There is no other way. We are artists. There is no other way. You know what I mean? It's not kind of you take a guitar and play. At some point you play so perfect, then it is marvelous. But it's not about only the repetition. It's about to make the other people feel. It's about to make the other people reflection about what the message you pass. And we can do this. I know it's sad we don't have contact with public. Me more than anyone know this because I'm a street art. I work on the street. 10 years work on the streets, and I had to take my name and count the coronavirus and make me stop everything.
We have started to perform on the street here. My compañera and I, we just decided we were so tired of being inside and not being able to perform. But I don't know how the things are where you are, but we went to the park here and we wear our mask to go there. But when we arrive, we just go very open area. There's, you know, not so many people, and we just perform there. We started that. And it's funny because I love what you just said, Anna, so much about, you know, we are sharing with other people, you know, like what I really love about street performance personally is you can have no one watch and then you turn around and 10 people just started watching you and you're like, oh, I have an audience now. And the other thing that was really beautiful the other day when we were at the park is there were a lot of street musicians. And so there was a man playing cello. And so we were dancing and he was playing cello and we kind of started to like join with his cello, you know, with our dance. And it was just so beautiful, like completely unplanned, completely spontaneous and really beautiful. And I just thought for a moment, you know, if I can find a job that like Bernice has, you know, a proper job, like that's what I was thinking, like if I can find like a proper job and then I just dedicate my weekends to going and performing in the park, I think, you know, maybe I could be satisfied or at least sort of satisfied with that. Anna,
Yeah.
to ask you, you were talking about, you know, some of the barriers and restrictions that you had faced, and I wanted to ask you, Anna, what do you need? Like, I mean, how can I help you? How could someone help you? How can other people help you?
No, I need money. I need.
Yes.
No, I need money because the first. I'm not. Eu não fui totalmente honesta com vocês. Na verdade, essa questão do tempo, de precisar de ter esse controle do tempo, não é só isso que me basta. A primeira prioridade da minha vida é ter comida na geladeira para os meus filhos. Então, enquanto isso não estiver resolvido, eu não consigo pensar em outra coisa a não ser vender minhas artes do jeito que eu puder e conseguir fazer dinheiro para comprar comida. Então, quando isso está sanado, o que eu tenho conseguido fazer por ajuda com o meu companheiro, aí sim a minha preocupação é com o tempo. Entendeu? Mas eu não estou conseguindo produzir e fazer dinheiro. E eu não sei quanto tempo ele vai aguentar, porque eu tenho 2 filhos. Então, assim...
Ô, Paulinha, fala da sua rifa, então...
eu estou fazendo uma rifa de um quadro meu, que eu vou botar o quadro aqui atrás para vocês verem daqui a pouco, quando eu acabar de falar. E se vocês puderem compartilhar, quem puder contribuir, eu vou estar fazendo mais coisas hoje no Instagram, explicando como participar.
Como que é rifa em inglês? Desculpa.
Eu não sei como pronuncia. Se escreve assim.
Okay, sorry.
Raffle?
Yeah.
É raffle?
You have something like that. maybe some. Oh, you are doing a raffle. Ah, great.
She's doing that with one of her
I'm
art pieces.
translating in Portuguese and English in the chat. You can go there and try to understand. I'm doing both things.
Sorry,
You can go,
I really wanted to. Eu queria muito treinar meu inglês, porque uma das ideias que eu tive para fazer dinheiro é um grupo de inglês de conversação em inglês, só de mulheres, para a gente falar sobre temas feministas, para a gente falar sobre. Mas, na verdade, a ideia é que as pessoas soltem o inglês, porque aqui no Brasil, muito do vocabulário do português tem palavras em inglês. E muitas pessoas têm um vocabulário na cabeça imenso do inglês, só que não sabe como usar, não sabe como falar, ou até sabe, mas tem vergonha. Então, a ideia era formar um grupo no Zoom, onde as pessoas ajudariam com algum valor, e a gente ficaria conversando em inglês sobre temas como feminismo, como machismo, racismo, que movimentos que a gente pode fazer para ajudar. E a última coisa que eu queria falar é que, assim, dentro da minha pequenez nesse mundo, uma das ações que eu tento fazer para ajudar as outras manas que também estão abaixo de mim, não conseguem ter o acesso que eu consigo, chamando essas irmãs para fazer parceria. No caso, eu chamo irmãs negras, porque são as mulheres junto com as indígenas mais sofridas aqui no Brasil, as que têm menos oportunidades. Então, no meu projeto do Duna, a menina que poetizou meus livros é uma menina que mora na Pavuna, mora na Baixada Fluminense, que é um bairro muito pobre. E ela é uma poetisa maravilhosa. E aí eu falei para ela, mana, vamos comigo, não tem dinheiro, mas você divulga seu Instagram, você divulga suas poesias. E aí ela super topou. E eu tenho pensado em tomar esse tipo de atitude sempre que me derem alguma oportunidade, de chamar uma mana que eu quero ajudar em uma parceria, seja dividindo a grana do que me chamarem para fazer e o espaço artístico, entendeu? Seja divulgando o que eu fico sabendo de editais por aqui. Eu sempre estou jogando nos grupos de mulheres, gente, repassando, link tal, edital, repassando, vaga tal. Essa comunicação entre as mulheres é muito importante. Isso é uma coisa que a gente ainda não domina. Quanto mais a gente fizer e expandir, melhor para a gente, para o mundo, né?
Lindo.
Anna, I was actually thinking that is an amazing idea to have a group like that. I was half like following some of the Portuguese, which I'm like, wow, I don't understand what she's saying. This is amazing. But also following the chat. It says with Brazilians in the chat, but if you are doing it in English, it doesn't just be with Brazilians. You could certainly add, if it's online, you can add the US, and Canada and other countries where English is spoken, and when they are also having a lot of discussions about racism and feminism and stuff as well, and obviously those white Americans and Canadians should give you all their money, so it could be like a good option to offer internationally.
And yeah, it's a very good idea also to have people from other countries, because if you're talking about social context, it's good that these realities can intersect, and people that has no idea what happened in Brazil can be updated what's going on, and and things like that. And there is this voluntary contribution that, because of the exchange, the money exchange, can be very, very positive. It's something I often talk about, that we need to enjoy that. Right now the money exchange is very crazy. The dollar is very expensive. So for example, a woman that might contribute with $10, that in Brazil will be almost 60 reais. Yeah. And that would be like a lot of money for doing a week of groceries. So I really need, we think, to explore this tool where we can connect people from different countries and different currencies.
Yes, I really think that doing those workshops online could be an excellent way to start to raise some money. I'm sorry, Natasha, did I interrupt?
Yeah, no, that's it. And also I was going to say about this changing roles we live during the quarantine. Something I experienced, for example, because I'm an actress, and with Duna, I'm a curator. So I like change the role. So it's interesting to see what roles you can have besides doing your main activity. So being a teacher, or just, I like to think, just being thinkers or creatives, because this idea of doing a group for exchanging language and knowledge, it's an idea. You're not really playing the role you would play normally, but it's an idea. And I hope that in this new world post-pandemic, we start to be more valued, like to have more valor,
Validated.
Yeah, validated. I hope that we will be more validated by our ideas than by our curriculums or our professions, because I think that what's available now is the ideas we are having to connect people and to transform the realities. So I really expect that this is, so me and Bruna, I start to think that Duna it's almost more human rights and social project than artistic, almost. So this is also a good thing to think about. Maybe I'm more than an artist, maybe I'm also activist, or maybe I'm also worry about the women rights, and to check if women are good and how is their context. And so all this to bring these responsibilities, it's also something very positive, because you're going to find more grants and more funds than if you are just looking for art funds. You know, maybe you can start to apply for foundations that wants to do social projects, that wants to pay for social projects, more than just me doing my performance artwork. So it's just like good to think about these points of Você quer que eu traduza rapidinho? Tava
Fala
falando
inglês.
que... Em inglês? Em português agora?
Isso.
Eu tava falando que é legal, nesses momentos de crise, a gente pensar que outros papéis a gente pode ter, né? Além do papel principal. Se, no caso, você trabalha com o corpo, que acho que era o que a Ana estava falando. No caso, você é atriz e você já não está podendo exercer sua função de atriz, então, quem sabe, você pode ser professora, né? Então, ou isso, agitadora, de também pensar que, às vezes, a ideia, que é uma coisa que eu espero, que a ideia valha mais do que quem você é ou qual é a sua profissão. Porque, às vezes, a ideia tem mais valor do que realmente o produto que você está oferecendo, né? Eu espero que futuramente isso venha a ser uma coisa mais valorizada e mais apoiada, né? E dentro disso eu pensei também que é uma coisa que a gente está vivendo com o Duna, que é trazer um pouco essa responsabilidade social, que uma coisa também a Ana estava falando, de tentar puxar a galera que a gente sabe que está precisando, ou tentar olhar como esse projeto, não só como um projeto artístico, mas também como um projeto social, que se preocupa pelas mulheres, que está tentando priorizar mulheres, priorizar países que estão mais vulneráveis, coisas assim, e ver se esse projeto também não é um projeto de direitos humanos, se não é um projeto social, não é um projeto de ativismo. E aí começar a buscar apoios que sejam voltados para isso. Porque eu acho que as ideias e os projetos que têm conotação social, eles são sempre bem-vindos, né, pelos olhos das instituições privadas, principalmente. Nesse caso, eu acho que a gente tem que se aliar às instituições privadas. Assim. Que banco não quer apoiar um projeto social, né, e ficar bem na fita? Então, acho que a gente tem que aproveitar também para ter essa esperteza de o dinheiro tá aí, tem muito dinheiro aí. A gente tem que mudar as chavinhas para poder hackear essa grana.
I really love that idea, Natasha, that you said now is a good time to think about the different roles we fulfill, and that, you know, I think it's very interesting to look at the social and cultural context of the work that you make. And I, you know, with my compañera, we teach workshops, and one of the things that, I mean, we're actually working within a community with people who don't necessarily consider themselves as artists, you know, but what you start to see is that, I mean, everybody who's ever taken a workshop with me has enjoyed making stuff, has enjoyed writing poetry, has enjoyed performing, has enjoyed doing some sort of movement exercises, has enjoyed making a poetry collage. If you guys go on my Instagram, you can see, I think I have some examples of the poetry collages that we've made. And I would actually like to make more, because I think it's a really beautiful thing that you can show online. Like, it's sort of a more interesting thing than just the text. So yeah, so I really like that idea of thinking about, like, for example, next week we will go to Casa Frida, which is a refugio of trans and queer women and non-binary who had to leave their homes for the quarantine. Because they were facing violence or whatever in their domestic environment. So in that case, like, we are going to do an art workshop, but as Natasha was saying, like, it feels like a social project, because we are, you know, sharing with people who are not, who don't necessarily consider themselves artists, but who want to experience creativity and connection and communication in that kind of setting. Because it's fun too. Like, I think that's something that we often get really like Anna, if you're getting up at 2 a.m, like, oh, I've just had this, maybe I didn't quite understand Portuguese so well, but I think I heard something like that, you know, then that, you know, that's also because you enjoy it, you know, like me, I enjoy making weird stuff. It's always really, really fun. And so I think that's another thing to consider, is like, a lot of the conversations I've been having with other artists who are having identity crises, like, what are we doing? The world is ending and I'm just making art. This is so stupid, is to consider that cultural context of the art itself, that we are connecting with each other. As Anna was saying, we are sharing, we are communicating. Anna is telling her story, you know, Natasha's telling her story. And in that way, you know, I think we can find value that is not necessarily the product. At the same time, I think it's very odd to consider that people wouldn't want the product also. Like, I think that people do enjoy buying paintings, little zines, you know, like, I have friends who make little zines of their poetry and sell them online. I think people like to have artistic things in their homes. Would anyone else like to share any ideas? I really like Anna's idea of online groups, workshops, classes, things like that. Like, I think that's really amazing. And Anna, if you organize that, I will definitely share and promote on my social, like, if it's in English, then I can definitely promote that. And I'm sure I know people in the US, I know people in New Zealand, whatever, who would be interested. I have a friend here actually who is a Black woman from the US, but she researches Afro-Latina identity and stuff like that. So, you know, there's like lots of possibilities to connect with other people and try and make that happen. I think that's great. And I also really like Natasha's idea of considering other roles, other hats that we can wear in our practice and in our connection with other artists. So would anyone else like to?
I wanted to say that this thing of it's really good that we are here together, because we are a net, and each one of us know 10 more people. So every time you need to share an information, I think that you share with us, we share with 10 more, and this 10 more share with 10 more, and then like there is this big net around. And I think that the supportive net as well, if you need to translate something, if you see an open call and reminds and thinks about someone, oh, her work will fit on that, send that to her. Or if you see a potential project, or that idea could become a potential project, just, can I talk to you today? And then we have some brainstorms, like to use the net, because that's what we can do now. Like and also all the girls that work with products, paintings, fanzines and things like that, really try to sell it now, because I think that the people who are able to buy it would love to buy it, you know, because there is this thing, people are a bit, because of the situation, I think people are more touched. So I think that that's the good moment to really expose what you do, tell everybody what are your service, tell everybody what you can offer, because the ones that can help will do it. People like to, the ones who can, they like to spend the money in with good reasons. Oh, I just bought a nice fanzine of this girl because I support local artists, you know. Like, people like this discourse. So I think it's a good moment. And also I have a document that I will share with you later, where I put all open calls I find, all websites of open calls and things like that around the world, for grants, for funding, for travel grants. There are some school programs or interesting study programs around the world, things like that, that I can share with you all if you want to take a look.
Yes, please.
Yeah. And that's it. And we are already planning to go to Mexico and do a Dunas festival in
offline. The offline version.
I would love that. It's so hard. It's like, I want to just be like, yes, everything's going to happen. And then sometimes my brain just goes, don't forget that the world is like in this crazy, you know, like, people, like, you know, we just found out the other day, Natasha, we are not able to go to Europe. Those of us in Brazil or Mexico are not actually going to be able to even fly to Europe. You know, so it's like, you know, if I go back to New Zealand, I have to stay there, you know, so there's like lots of sort of these issues going on. But I want to be positive. I want to believe that, you know, we can plan these things. I don't know, my friend said the other day, I think the best idea is to plan in kind of a double track. Like, one track is going, these things will be possible again, like we will be able to be traveling, we will, you know, and the other track is to go, just in case, here's how I can offer all of this online. So it's like always to have those two tracks running, and any thoughts about the future and future work. Which is very
Ruby, I need to tell you something. You, on the first reunion, that has a earthquake, and you run away. Do you remember when you run away in the first reunion? And when you come back, you say, then here where you are, the people make a joke to send, unless we are not Brazil. Did you know? Remember this? And I transformed this to something to scare people here. People don't believe the coronavirus. So when I have contact with this kind of people, so like my porteiro or the girl who cleaned the whatever. These people don't believe the coronavirus. They don't use masks. They are insane. And I say to them, I have a friend who lives in Mexico. She said to me, and all them make like this. And I don't know if you girls say, but there is a lot of, tem enxame de gafanhoto que está saindo da Argentina e que ia vir para o Brasil. e que eles desviaram. E o pessoal tá brincando, falando que são as pragas do apocalipse. Que o próximo vão ser os primogênitos, entendeu? Então, assim, traduz isso aí, gente. Por favor.
Como é que diz isso?
I don't know. Here in the south of America, we have like I don't know how to translate this, but a lot of insects together, like 400 milhões. Eu não sei traduzir também. Like a lot, really, really a lot of insects flying together because they all were born together and they were like finishing with the plantações. Não sei traduzir isso, Ana.
Plantations.
I don't know. We are having this issue besides of coronavirus, like we are having an ambiental
invasion.
Like it's
a bugs invasion.
Yeah, it's like
a plague.
A plague. Yeah. It was born in Argentina and it's coming and passing through Brazil, and everybody is going crazy, like that history from the Bible that the plagues are 7 plagues, and well, we have the first one already.
Apocalypse.
Like besides coronavirus, we already have these animals flying all together, and this is amazing, like the plantations, and
it's insane. It's very insane. It's very insane. But I wish to tell you this because this make a proportion about the mentality of people here. You know, we now live in the moment here when the church govern. You know, the president is a kind of priest, some church, and all the women who live in with no money, all the population who live no money, they open a church between 5 houses. It's 5 houses, one a church, more 5 houses and one a church. And all these things make the people has a vision and they don't think right, you know. They don't think right at all. They can see the things happen outside, you know. And it's a kind of domination. It's a kind of a brainwash, you know. And some people has a string action to take all the salary and give to the priest. All your money, all. It's so insane, you know. And when something like this is a kind of disease in all the world, and people think the earth is planned, and
because of the apocalypse, they need to buy a better place to live, you know. They need to guarantee that at least in heaven they will be able to live in peace.
And all the country in this way, The part very sad of all these things is the killer, the Indians people. A lot of, because this is a mentality of the church. The church wants to colonize. She wants to oppress. She wants to make you follow his order, no question, and all your faith. So not only the evangelical church, I'm talking about all this church, all the things who cover the church, but the truth, he wants to take you and all control your life. You know what I mean? And this is very hard when you are artists in this place, you know, because something silly is watching like something wrong, like a book. A book, you can show your book. What kind of woman is you? Here in Brazil, when the president went, there is something like beauty, bela, recatada e do lar. Beauty, polite, and to your house, for your home. You know, like the woman was an object. And she only, it's good if she was beautiful, if she was sublimate your orders, and she was from home. She doesn't work. She don't get out this home. Home is her place and finish. This is insane. I don't know what kind of reflection you make in the future. I'm curious about, but it's very sad about the Indian people. So if you want to help me, please help me. But please search more. And there is a lot of action, social action to help the Indian people. And they need much more than me because they are dying now. The children are dying now. Please share with amongst of people you can, because this is really serious and we don't have the perspective about the future yet about this. We will only see what happened 10 years and there has no wind anymore to tell this history. So this is my scream to help, because if I can help, then I need help too. So, but
Any information
if I,
here, Anna?
what?
Send any information and I will share on my social media. Absolutely. Yesterday we found a group here, Indigenous women here, who is an activist group who are, you know, they are looking for their kidnapped children, you know, so they are like a very if you go on my Instagram, I have the information on my stories. And they just had the outbreak of COVID in their community. And, you know, that's things like they don't have the masks, they don't have antibacterial gel, they don't have running water. So, you know, it's one of those things that we're all inside and everything, but there's so many different experiences of this pandemic, and you're absolutely right how important it is to have a consciousness of, you know, while I might be suffering, these people are really, really suffering, and I can actually help them and should.
Exactly. This is a kind of way we can do to help everybody. If Bernice tell me there is a people here, the minority, they suffer, and Clarice tell me there are other people here, and Natasha tell me, and everybody knows this kind of group. But more we know, more we can help. Even you can give some money, but you can share the information with someone who can do this, who can make something, you know. But this is a kind of information you don't see on the medias local in Brazil. You didn't see on the newspaper. You only will know when you talk to a Brazilian woman, like Sophia, like Jordana, like Clarice, were people who live in here and has the perspective who really happened here. Because what the publicity say about Brazil, it's not trust, you know, it's not trust. It's a vision very corrupt and very, there is some kind of, some channels, it's okay, but another, it's difficult to take the real information about what happened. I think the best way is this way we do now. And for this, I will thank you so much, Bruna and Natasha. And I hope the Duna project to create a new kind of art, the social art, the activist art social. I don't know, a new name is created with this project, you know, because this is a kind of beautiful movement we make. It's so few we need to do part of this, and we can help so much. We can share our information, and we can nourish if your information about how is there, how is in Mexico, how is in Madrid, how is there, where is Benin is, you know. This for us who live in here and does have another window to see the world, because I don't have any window to see the world. You are my window now, you know. And this is very important to me, because sometimes you create some art and even you can understand if it's right, it's good, if not. And when I expose my art on the project, Bruna, I see, oh my God, I make something right, nice. Okay, everything I felt about my art is real, nice. Other person was see, you know, because this is important to us here, because the woman here don't have so much value. We don't have space to be free. To don't worry about the judgment, because it's all the words, all it's multicultural. You can worry about this, you know. But when something you make go to this place and all the world see, all the people see, even the public, it's small. It's to me, it's a return. You know, it's something like, oh God, okay, I can sell this. I'm not a fraud, you know, I'm not fake, you know, my art is not naive, because here I had this problem too. The black art here in the gallery of art is seen like a naive art, you know. No one will see me like a contemporary artist. And we put my painting in the gallery with contemporary art because I am a black woman, so I am naive. And this is something we piss me off. But I have a space here, it's different. All the countries kind of this, you know. So it's very important to me, has this window. Thank you so much to all yours stay here and we sharing change. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Really important to me. Thank you. This is the kind of thing make me make more art, to share, to change, to see other people, to see and talking about, and this is very important. Thank you so much.
Oh, Anna.
Thank you, so nice.
Thank you, Anna, for sharing this. Thank
Beautiful,
you. You're
thank you.
amazing. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. You're amazing. Thank you.
So
That's what Ruby told about to connect, you know,
Yeah.
to the art, that it's more about connecting, more important than, and to create a space, because we what we do as Duna is just to create a space, because we couldn't find any institution. Was too difficult. We were too naive, always, no matter how old you are, you're always naive. You're never enough. So we wanted to create a space, virtual space, so we can do our things. And I don't need the institution to say my work is available. I can create this space and tell Anna, your work's available. We want you to be here and to talk, and we will hear you.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. It's about creating this space.
I would love to hear something about Jordana and Sofia and Clarice, maybe, if you want to share with us. Se vocês quiserem dividir com a gente como é que tem sido.
I have to go in 10 minutes.
Ok.
Eu queria fazer uma pergunta para Ruby.
A Jordana wants to ask you something, Ruby.
Posso? Ainda dá tempo?
Tem 10 minutos.
Eu queria saber, eu não sei se ela já falou e eu não entendi, eu queria saber quais são os temas que ela costuma tratar nas performances dela, se ela tem, assim, temas que ela mais trabalha ou se é uma coisa mais que, de acordo com a época, ela vai mudando, como é que, do que tratam as performances dela? É mais da questão queer, né, que se fala, não sei se está certa a pronúncia, ou não, é mais de questões gerais, assim. Quais são os temas que ela costuma abordar nas performances? Que tipo de performances que ela faz?
I work a lot with psychology and the presence of manifestations of your psychological state in the body, in movement. I work with grief, trauma, and understanding your personal grief, and with the role of being a woman who refuses to follow any kind of traditional concepts of what that should look like, that I do not have, I'm not married, you know, I do not have a like traditional lifestyle. And a lot of people do judge that I didn't have a family, I didn't have a career, like, you know, like a career in terms of like lawyer or whatever. And yes, and I work with the body and text. So I actually was going to say, when Anna was talking about street performance, and I was thinking about that my friend and I have been going to do street performance, that I would like to actually take a video of us doing our street performance to share.
Yeah.
For me, that's really where a lot of the work for me does happen, when I'm, you know, forced into this kind of very public, unknown environment, and to make some work there. So I think it would be nice to share something so you guys can see, because I didn't do the one on Instagram, on Zoom, sorry, but I would love to share a short video of
course, would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't have a tripod, or you don't have a cell phone. Make it with your cell phone. With your cell phone. Simple.
I have
a tripod, cell phone. Go to the streets and show us. I'm curious to see too.
Yeah, there's a tiny little bit on my Instagram, but I think for me, it's like, I have this extreme battle. I'm not sure how you guys feel, but I have this extreme battle with like self-promotion and a kind of like ego thing. Like sometimes I just think like, I don't know, it's so hard for me to be like, oh, I did this. And, you know, like, I don't know, I have like a kind of weird relationship with the self-promotion aspect, which is obviously when you can perform live and in public, and when you're doing like poetry readings regularly, like I don't need to promote myself and my work online. But now it's like, if I want to make something, the only option is to promote it online. And so I've been having a lot of tension about, you know, like being too loud.
Open to the perspective. Not all the things inside the Instagram, the other things, was a promotion.
That's true.
This is not a promotion. Some things is just the art of the people, you know. Don't look like this. I know it's hard.
It's the only way now. So
yeah, no, but this argument, the only way now, it's make me feel pissed off. So I like to think like I have a lot of options. I'm a little fight with this, you know. I want to has more options, so I make to create or see something nobody see, or some people see, and try to make something different with this. But for me, like a psychological work to make something nice and not feel like a fake person or marketing. I think this way, then I told you, I think I will use the channel to express my art. Not everything on internet is fake, and that is it. If somebody think is fake, it's a problem of somebody. It's not my problem. My problem is try to make my art go to a place. I have a problem with this because some people who want my art to go don't have access to internet.
Yes.
So it's difficult because this, but if you think on the future, this work on record, so you can show them some other way when we can go to the street, make a projeção, this video on the building, you know what I mean, and make the people on the street see this video on this project on this building. There is other ways. I think we will find together and along too, and thinking about and talking about, we will find something. And not one, a lot of, because we will stay in this kind of life a little more time than we expect, because I think only when we find the cure, and the cure was for everybody, we have free. Until then, we have to find these ways. You know what I mean? So I'm here to talk to you. Take my WhatsApp. Tell me when you want or you feel not comfortable with the situation. Oh, I have to make a presentation, and I'm not I'm insecure, or I'm pissed off because I don't want it this way. Call me. I will help you. I, I want here. I'm here for you. If you want my help, search me. Call me.
But Anna, I really want you to come to Mexico. I want to go do some street performance with you. Or I will go there to Brazil. I'm so like inspired by everything that you were saying today, and I just feel like so glad to have met you.
Thank you.
Just like think like, yeah, like I don't know, maybe I feel like because I lived in New York for a long time, that we got very kind of conditioned about the institution. And I have like, I was talking to my friend, she's Mexican. I mean, I live in Mexico, most of my friends are Mexican. And although there are like, you know, we have like a lot of foreigners here also, so I have like Colombian and Venezuelan. Right. I don't have any Brazilian. I don't know any Brazilians who live here, but I know like a lot of Venezuelans and Colombians and Argentinians and Chileans and blah, blah. So it's quite a like, you know, and Europeans, it's quite a like international city. But my friend who's Mexican, we were having this conversation because when I was living in New York, because of my proximity to the art world, even though I was like outside of the institutional environment, I was close enough, right? That I have friends, I have colleagues, whatever, who were able to have that kind of career, that kind of support. And when you see that happen so close to you, it's like, oh, that is possible. Like I see people doing it. And Sara, who's a Mexican woman, said to me, here in Mexico, no one under the like top classes even dreams of that, because they just go, it's never going to be possible. So she actually told me, like when we were having this conversation, she feels much freer in a way than I do, because she feels like this is never going to be a possibility. I'm not even going to try. Let me look for other avenues. Whereas I had some conditioning from living in New York, that close to the art world and everything, that, oh, this is something I need to try to do all the time, you know? And so she actually feels much freer thinking, not even possible. So I'm gonna have to start. I just wanted to check and see if anyone wanted to have any final words. Clarice, I don't know if you're still there.
I'm here. I just turned off the camera because I'm charging the cell phone, so you don't need to see like my, I don't know how to say, my ventilador.
The fun.
But I just want to say thank you for this moment, this call. There were so many powerful questions since the beginning. Like, what do you need to make your art is a beautiful question, you know, so beautiful. And it really made me think about what is to be an artist, you know, and the relation with expressing yourself and your inner thoughts, and also the things that are important to you. I'm just like thinking a lot. Thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Thank you, Clarice.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, girls, thank you all. I need to leave as well.
Clarice, if you could send me, please not on the chat, because, I'm just writing down your email right now. I will email you so you have my contact. But I would love
please.
the name of the company, the dance company that you've been performing with.
Sure. That would be great.
and I can show you our company. Actually, the reason I have to go is because I now have a Zoom meeting with the dance company. And I can tell you the project that we're doing, I don't know, Clarice, if your company does more like choreographed, you know, that kind of thing, but we're really it's very focused on improvisation. So one of the things that we do normally, like in the normal life, is we have a studio where we meet almost every day, and we do like training and improvisation practice for 2 to 3 hours, sometimes 5. It sort of depends on how clavada in the moment you get. Clavada does not have a very good English translation. That's why I always say the Spanish word. Anyway, but so that now thinking about what Anna and Natasha were saying about reimagining our roles and what we can do as artists, we are attempting to do the improvisation, the same concepts, the same principles of dance improvisation, but in writing. So we are working on the screen, and we make the improvisation with the keyboard, with our hands typing, all together at the same time.
Wow.
So kind of like an attempt to see if it's possible to do what we do with our bodies with writing instead.
Wow, interesting.
Wow.
It's
Very
not
cool.
not as fun.
No, I think I'm curious to see there is something beautiful, there is something strong, because everybody has a keyboard, so everyone will see has a keyboard house. So I'm curious to see this. I hope you show someday.
On my Instagram, but yeah, we will have, I can send you guys, like, we're gonna have a video and everything. Like, we are videoing the improvisation, like, as a dance performance. Yeah, so hopefully by the end we will have something that I can share with
you. Great. That would be
Thank
great.
you all, girls, for being here, sharing. It was really nice to see you all, to hear your experiences, and I hope to see you tomorrow. For the girls from Duna, I hope to see you tomorrow in our closing meeting. And Clarice, muito obrigada por ter vindo. Foi uma surpresa boa. And have a nice day, you all. Thank you. See you.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
girls.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Coronavirus
Thank
is real, but
you.
don't forget it. Be safe.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.